So I spent a little bit of money this week. First up, I bought this thing, this hunk of junk. You can see it's been pretty battered and it is munted. It will never be repaired again, but the reason I bought this was for its contents. This beautiful wee gearbox, 6 speeds, a very close ratio and perfect for my V4 build. So now I've spent some money and got some skin in the game. It will help motivate me to get it done even quicker. So this is about 6.5 kilos, the same size as a GSXR 1000 gearbox by weight. So that is a very heavy gearbox. I doubt I'm going to break it. I also bought myself this, perfect for measuring my cases on the milling machine. So essentially I'm using the height gauge to get all of the dimensions, like from here to here to here, vice versa, for all of the shaft lengths. And then what I'm going to do is, I bought a little touch probe for here. I'm going to use the mill like a CMM and map out the centers of all of these shafts. I've already measured all of my shaft centers with the old digital calipers, but I'm going to do it again with a touch probe in here. So I'll do it 2 different ways and just confirm the numbers. So for those who don't know, all these dimensions are going to allow me to kind of turn this into a V4 fire-breathing 2-stroke race monster, pretty much a Grand Prix engine, and I want to achieve all this for, I don't know, under $2,000, using that gearbox and making all my own gears and getting everything heat treated. I think it is achievable. The beauty of all this is, under these old duvet covers and that fluoro tube, there's 2 RGV 250s, and the plan is to make sure my V4, which is not this, bolts straight into an RGV 250. So anybody doing an RGV sort of hot rod build could potentially buy an engine making 120 horsepower and being a V4 2-stroke to bang straight into their RGV. I haven't forgotten about the V-twin, so I'm making an assembly video, and these are all the parts that I haven't put on it yet. I'll fire that out at some point. I stripped the whole thing down after running it up, and there was a tiny bit of rubbing in one of the cam chain tunnels. So, and I mean tiny, what I did was machine this down by 0.5 mil, and that should give us the required clearance to get rid of that bad rubbing. It's all going back together after being fully stripped post the test run, and everything is working perfectly fine other than that small rubbing in the cam chain tunnel, which was dealt with while I had it apart. I also drilled a whole bunch of breather holes, which, yeah, maybe there was one in there, I can't remember, which weren't there before, which is why it was blowing so much oil out the breather, because without these holes there was no way for this side of the crankcase to communicate with the breather. Silly me. So this will go back together in another video. It'll be a quick ASMR style video of this going back together. No talking, just a little detailed assembly video. So you can see whatever happened here with the Triumph motor would have completely ripped someone's undies. They would have had a pretty shitty time when their pride and joy exploded on them. Talk about being pressed for time. I was meaning to machine a top triple clamp to accept the original key for my Aprilia for months. I've even got quotes for the material, but I even bought a slitting saw for this, but I haven't got around to it. So at some stage I'll make a top triple clamp for this and explain the whole situation surrounding this when the time comes. This is the Optical edge finder, $20, and it showed up from China in just over a week. It comes in this nice wooden box, and here it is. So this bad boy is going to be used to map out the Triumph motor. It makes a noise and has a little LED that lights up when you make contact. That ball bearing is allegedly 10.00 millimeters, and yeah, we'll see how we go.